Hey everyone, it's Casual Jake, and I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. You know what time it is? It's time for Casual Constructed, the video where I play constructed formats, and today we're playing one of my favorites, Pioneer. I'll be playing this game with my friend Matt, playing two different decks, and I hope that you enjoy the content. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you leave a comment telling me your thoughts, and I'll talk to you after the game.
I wanted to make a deck with 4 copies of Otherworldly Gaze and challenge myself to see how to maximize that in something other than like a Phoenix shell. So I feel like there's a lot of interesting synergy with Otherworldly Gaze and the Delve spells. So I tried to use that kind of as the basis for the deck building.
Okay, sweet. I love that. I'm really curious to see how this goes. Clearly, a brewer, someone who enjoys kind of like finding places for cards to go. I'm just going to be playing goblins. Y'all know what it is. Like, we're trying to get goblins out, and goblins that synergize with other goblins and turn them sideways and just aggro them out. So that's what we're going to be up to. Cool.
High roll.
All right. I got a 7.
I have a 6.
All right. I'll take the play. Exactly where I want to be for goblins. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan that first one.
I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, well, let's see what I can make it happen. So I got my 6. I shipped one back, and I'm ready to go if you are.
Yep.
All right. Let's do it. I'm gonna start off with a mountain and a 1-drop. I'm gonna play Foundry Street Denizen, so it'll get bigger with other red creatures into the battlefield, and I'll pass the turn.
All right. I'll play Zagoth Triumph tapped, and I'll pass.
All right, I'll untap, upkeep, draw, and kind of right where we want to be, playing a Goblin Instigator. So that's guy's gonna come in, and like you said, token production. We're gonna get ourselves a Goblin token right here, and my Denizen's gonna get +2/+0 because 2 red creatures into the battlefield. So I'll swing for 3.
All right, I'll take 2 or 3 down to 17.
Yep, and I'll pass it from there.
All right, I'll draw, play a Blooming Marsh, and I'll play a Scavenging Ooze.
All right, we got the Scoos coming out. And wouldn't you know it, let's go mountain. We love a 1-2-3 curve. I'm gonna play the Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. Gonna get all my creatures +1/+1, and then for red in the tap, it can deal damage equal to the number of goblins that enter the battlefield under my control. Denizen's gonna be a 3/2, and then 2 other 2/2s.
Okay, I'll go to 10.
All right, we doing the thing, y'all. I'll go ahead and pass it from there.
I will play a Swamp, and I'll pass. Just playing some defense here.
I'm gonna cast 1 for a Skirk Prospector. I can sacrifice a goblin, add red mana. I'll pay 2, and I would like to Surge my Reckless Bushwhacker for 2 mana.
Strong.
Okay, go to combat.
Yep.
All right, so I'll go to combat, and I'll swing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'll string the Denizen, which should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be 5 power.
All right, so we're gonna have to try to do something here.
All right.
So I'm gonna Heartless Act your ward. So your guys are 1 smaller now, although they do have the extra power because of the Bushwhacker, right?
Yeah, the Bushwhacker gave him +1.
Okay, so I'm gonna eat your ward.
Okay.
With Ooze and gain a life. And then I'm gonna try to do the best block possible here that keeps my Ooze alive. Okay, so let's see. The Prospector is gonna potentially get you some mana, but the Bushwhacker is gonna keep the extra power, and I think I'm just on stemming the bleeding at this point, so I'll block him.
Okay, the Bushwhacker. Well, the Bushwhacker, he only does it that one time he comes in.
Right, but he's gonna keep the 2 power and your Prospector.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
So, all right, I'll block him and my Ooze will survive, and then I'll take whatever the remaining damage is.
It should be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, I'm at 1.
Got you at 1. Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice these 2 goblins and play a Conspicuous Snoop.
Okay.
And let's see what's on the top. Kind of hoping for a Fanatical Firebrand. It's not. Okay. It is a Battlecry Goblin. And I'll go ahead and pass the turn.
Well, I'm at 1, so my options here are limited. I'm going to probably be eating some goblins.
Yeah, you
pretty
got
soon.
1 goblin in the graveyard. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
2. The goblin instigator went there as well.
I'll play Traverse the 𝐿𝐵𝐼nwald to get a basic land,
All right.
which will be a forest, and I'll play that for the turn. Playing some defense at this point, so I'll pass it back to you.
Exactly where I'd want my opponent to be if I'm playing this aggro deck. So I'll draw that goblin, and I'll reveal a mountain on top. No Snoop going off right now. So what a day. I'll go ahead and pay the 2, and I'll cast the Battlecry Goblin. Tap this mountain. And I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice my Skirt Prospector for another red mana. And I'm going to give all my goblins +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. Okay, and then I'll go to combat.
Yep.
Okay, good to go to combat?
Yep.
All right, I will attack. This is a 3/2, 1/2, a 3/1, and then a 3/2. And then on attack, since I have pack tactics, I'll get to make an attacking 1/1.
All right, so they're all 3 power, right?
Except for this 1/1 who just came in.
Yeah, that might put you just over the finish line.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was hoping for.
I do have a removal spell, and then I could block, and then I could gain a life, but I think
Remove,
I
gain,
can't
yeah.
do everything. Yeah, all right, you got it.
Okay, we'll take game 1. Good game.
I think that shows kind of the importance of being on the play.
For
You know,
sure.
one
If I was
turn,
on the
either
back
way.
foot, that would have been very different. And yeah, I'm ready to go when you are, my amigo.
All right, I'll play a Zagoth Triumph tapped and pass.
All right, I will draw for turn. I will play a Den of the Bugbear, another all-star in this deck, give you that late game reach. And I'll play a Foundry Street Denizen, and I will pass.
All right, so I'll draw. We're going to be trying out Deathrite Shaman this game.
Oh, hey.
You know, the 1-mana Planeswalker, at least in Modern, but is legal in Pioneer. But
It is.
maybe it's the lack of fetch lands that's keeping it in check.
I was gonna say I don't see it a lot, so it's cool to see it out here, and let's see what happens. Let's make it work.
I've got a little bit more to go here. I guess I'll play an Overgrown Tomb tapped and I'll pass.
All right, we're gonna do it tapped. All right, sounds good. Sorry, people, y'all can see my beautiful face. There we go. Untap, upkeep, draw that card, and I will play a mountain, and we'll go Goblin Pile Driver. A pretty cool card. I don't know how many blue creatures are running, but pro blue, definitely a plus. And
well,
so,
do you remember the context of why it was given pro blue?
Yes. I actually don't know.
It was a Psychotog hit card.
Oh, okay. That's
Back
kind of cool.
in Psychotog era around Onslaught, that was kind of a big deck. It pulled a big Psychotog out, which you can discard cards to pump it. You played Upheaval to bounce all the permanents. You recast it, and then you had one big swing. And Pile Driver was kind of a silver bullet around that era.
Nice. Okay. Well, it's pretty good in certain matchups, and I mean, it gets bigger as we go, so let's see what we can make it do. I'm going to go to combat, and I'll swing for 2 with my Foundry Street.
Sure, I'll go to 18.
All right, sounds good, and I'll pass the turn right there.
Drowned Catacomb.
Okay.
I'm going to play a second Deathrite Shaman here.
Nice.
And then I'll pass.
Mountain. And I'll play Fanatical Firebrand. I'm going to go 2, and I'll attempt a Bushwhacker Reckless variety.
Pretty strong start there. Sure, that resolves.
All right, so we got everything +1/+0 and haste. And let's swing the lot. So everything's a 2. Well, let's see. So these 2 are 2/1s. Foundry Street Denizen's gonna get it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gonna be a 4/1, and then Pile Driver will get 1,
That's
2.
a pretty big one. I think I'm gonna have to Heartless Act that Pile Driver.
Okay, yeah. It's gonna be pretty dang big, so that makes sense.
All right, and now we need to decide what kind of blocks we want to do here. I think I'll take that trade with a 4 power creature, and then I'll just take 4 damage.
Okay, so you're gonna take the Denizen out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the ability to gain a little bit of life back with the Death Rites, kind of doing a pseudo Scavenging Ooze impression.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's good for me. I'll pass it after that.
Play a Watery Grave tapped and just ship it back to you.
Let's do this. I'm going to pay 2 and play Goblin Instigator.
All right.
And to get me
a
goblin, a little token right there.
Yep.
And I'll go to combat.
Yep.
And I'll swing with the Bushwhacker for 2.
All right. Well, I think this is a pretty easy no blocks for me because I can just gain the life back.
For sure.
Start eating some creatures. So I think I'm going to take it and go to 12.
Okay. Sounds good. That's it for me. I got 2 cards in hand.
All right. Well, I want to preserve the creature types in my graveyard, so I'm going to go ahead and eat one of your goblins and gain that 2 life back.
Oh, right. Do you have a particular friend? Not that I can get him back, but
I don't think so.
Oh, right. We'll get that Foundry Street out of here then.
I'm just going to play a Breeding Pool tapped and pass it back to you.
All right. A card that I am quite fond of. And I didn't see this in any lists, but I just think it's neat. I'm going to play Tibalt, Rakish Instigator. Can't gain life.
Okay, well, at this point, I guess I need to decide if I want to respond, but
sure.
No, I'll go ahead and let that resolve.
Okay.
Just forces you to be a little bit more conservative with your 1/1s.
Yeah, so Tibalt comes in and says that my opponents cannot gain life, and for 2, for a -2, I can make a 1/1 devil that when it dies, it gets to do some Damaggio. So I'm going to go ahead and -2 him to 3 and make that devil token with an Infinite token. Hey, Infinite token in the chat. And I'll go ahead and I'll draw one here in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and swing my 2/1 and 2 1/1s heading your way.
So I'll go ahead and block your Instigator.
Okay.
In the interest of getting more creatures in the graveyard for maybe Scavenging Ooze or something like that. And I'll be taking 3.
All right.
Unless you got any tricks.
Sounds good. Nope, that'll happen. And the Goblin Instigator will go goodbye. And I do want to get that guy out of the way, so I will sack the Firebrand and we'll say goodbye to Shaman. Pass the turn to you.
All right, well, we're going to get to see how Otherworldly Gaze performs right here. So I'll go ahead and pass that. Really has the ability to turbocharge my graveyard. So let's take a look. 3 here. Not super exciting. I think we're going to keep 1 and ditch 2, which will bring my card types up to 3, including the Gaze. Boarded into some sweepers here, so I think we're going to clear the way with a Languish.
Yes, that will hit, and my devil will deal 1 damage to you when it dies.
Sure. Now, also importantly, that brings me up to the magical 4 card types.
Hey, there you go.
Play a Fable Passage.
Okay.
And decide if I want to crack that or not. I think maybe I will keep it for now and pass it back to you.
Where we are is another tapped Den of the Bugbear at the moment. And a -2 on my Tibalt for another devil. That is enough for me. And I got 2 more cards. I got 2 cards in hand and I'll pass.
Great. All right, so draw. Now, I actually did have a card on top that I was considering trying to dig for, but, Otherworldly Gaze just happens to do an okay job of filtering, so I'll go ahead and play 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐿.
Oh, very nice.
Comes with 3 1/2 spiders, a pretty common card in Delirium builds, just to gum up the board. It does have the ability to drain your opponent based on the number of spiders you have if things get to a super late game, but I think the reach spider bodies are really the key factor there. So
sure.
I'll play that and pass it back to you.
Yeah, that's not what I want to see at the moment, but it's what's in front of me. So 4 mana. I'm going to cast Chandra, Torch of Defiance. I was thinking this game might go a little bit longer than I wanted it to, so Chandra gets me a little extra damage, a little extra card draw, or should I say card advantage. And yeah, unfortunately 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐿 is a little too big for that -3. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and take her up by 1. knowing that we're not going to get to cast this card. But yeah, so we'll exile the top card of my library. It happens to be a mountain. I can cast it. If I don't, she deals 2 damage to each opponent. So I'll instead play this Den of the Bugbear tapped, literally all 3 of my bugbears. And I'll go to pass the turn.
All right, so I'm at 8.
Yep, and that mountain. Yeah, that's with the 2 from the mountain, right?
Right. I need to apply some pressure here, but not overextend myself into, throwing away what's starting to turn my way.
Sure.
So I think we're going to try to focus on the Tybalt this turn and swing 2 spiders at the Tybalt to kind of guarantee the kill.
Yep. And I will say that that's good, and Tybalt is gone.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play Traverse the 𝐂𝐚𝐤, which now with the Delirium allows me to get a creature of my choice or land. I think the, big old boy that is going to do the best for me is an Elder Gargaroth.
That's gonna hurt.
So I'll play the last card in hand, which is a forest, and
is that Gargaroth?
Yep.
Hey, here comes the boy.
So we just need, a turn or 2 of gain a little life and stabilizing, and then maybe the advantage will be back to me. So I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, and maybe I'll just scoop at that point. He is definitely going to be bad news bears for us. I'll untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to Chandra up to 6 and exile a mountain.
All right, so I'll go to 6.
I'm going to be honest, I don't see myself coming back from this one too much. That's what I got in hand. Gonna go the course of playing 1 mana for a Foundry Street Denizen.
All right.
And then I'm gonna pass the turn and see where that takes me. Just really no profitable attack for me.
So we're gonna try out another ability of Otherworldly Gaze, which I'm gonna cast on my upkeep to kind of set up my draw. I basically have the best of the top 4 cards now coming to my hand. So we'll cast that. And pretty inexpensive, at 2 mana.
Yeah, flashes back, not bad at all for 2 mana.
We'll go ahead and dump these Fatal Pushes and draw for turn. And I think I've got a good one here. So I've got a kicked Blood Chief's Thirst for your Chandra.
Yeah. Big oof. Honestly, with that, I'm good. To save ourselves time, I'm good. I don't think I can do turn that corner, so.
Great, let's go to game 3.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of interaction. I've got a late game plan. So we're also got the extra card coming from on the draw. So we're going to see if this will get us there. So I'll keep my 6 and put 1 to the bottom.
Sounds good. Well, I'm excited for this game 3, and I'll get it started off with a mountain. And like we said, at turn 1, we'll start off with that Foundry Street Denizen, and I'll pass it.
Not what I want to see on turn 1. I'll play Tap Triumph tapped and pass it to you.
Yep. I'll untap, upkeep, draw. And I am gonna be honest, it was a 1-lander, and I was handsomely rewarded with a Castle Embereth. And like we spoke about, that's gonna be a Goblin Instigator, very similar to my first hand, where I was able to go Foundry Street Denizen into this, and now I'll be swinging for 3 on turn 2.
All right, so I'll go to 17.
With 3 bodies on the battlefield, I'm feeling okay. I'll go ahead and pass it from there.
I think you can probably anticipate that I've got some kind of interaction here, keeping the 6 on the draw. So I'm going to pass with 2 mana suspiciously open.
Ah, man, I wonder what it could be. I'll go ahead and draw for that. I'm going to pay 2 and set my... Ooh, let's do this. So I kind of have a choice. Like, I want to play more stuff, but I'm wondering if you're going to dislike my new stuff more than this Denizen, but I also want to pump that Denizen and get my full value out of it. 2 mana here for a Goblin Pile Driver.
All right.
Which should look nice and
pretty
scary with my full board, yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
And I'll go to combat.
Yep.
And so Denizen will have 2 damage or 2 power, 2, 1, 1 for a total of 4.
I'll go to 13.
All right.
And he correctly assumes that I'm going to have to go ahead and kill the Pile Driver.
Yeah, figured that's where that was going to go, but...
All right, so I'll draw for turn. I'll go ahead and play a Breeding Pool tapped and pass it back to you.
Gonna go ahead and go to combat on this one.
All right. So the lack of a third mana means that most of his wards are offline, so it's a good start for me.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna go ahead and swing in for 3.
All right, so pretty easy. No block, no interaction here. I'll just take the 3.
Sure. And like I said, I don't want to be doing nothing, so I'm gonna go ahead and pay 2. And maybe I should have played this earlier, but I am gonna play that Conspicuous Snoop. And see what's going on. Is it going to resolve?
Yes.
All right. And we got a mountain on top. So telegraphing that, hey, that third drop is coming. I'm good on that.
All right. So end of turn, I'm going to Otherworldly Gaze.
Okay.
Which is pretty big. Gets me 4 looks at some kind of sweeper or something like that. So I guess I'll put Treasure Cruise and Grizzly Salvage in the graveyard. So up to 2. Put this back on top, and I'll draw for the turn.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and Languish, which was a pretty good find off the Otherworldly Gaze.
Yep.
In
that case, the Otherworldly Gaze was very much worth it, it would seem. Yes.
All right, I'll pass it to you, and hopefully that'll buy me that valuable turn to try to set up some kind of defender.
For sure. I'm going to try to keep that pressure going with a Mountain, a Legion Loyalist, little 1/1 haster. And because of that, I'll have the mana to surge out my Reckless Bushwhacker.
All right, pretty strong turn.
And so I'll go ahead and swing for 4 now.
All right, I'll go to 6.
Not the worst comeback from a Languish. So I'll go ahead and pass after that.
Absolutely. Legion Loyalist actually has the surprise text of not letting your guys be blocked by tokens.
So I forgot about it. Yeah, talk about a paragraph before that was like a whole meme. Like he's got trample, first strike, and they can't be blocked by tokens.
Right. Okay, so I'll play a forest. I'm gonna go ahead and play Cavalier of Thorns.
Okay.
So that would have been great, except he had some haste guys here. So we're just trying to hold the fort, and I'll go ahead and look at 5 and put a land into play, and the rest in my graveyard. I'll go ahead and put Fable Passage. I've got a Liliana notably in my graveyard, which will put me up to 3 creature types, and then the Fable Passage could give me the 4th. So I'll pass it to you.
I'm going to go ahead and tap 3 mana. And I'm going to play my Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. So he's going to pump up the team a little bit here. And the question is, I can send these guys to their deaths and push in 2 damage with the Legion Loyalist, or I can sit here and wait. I mean, another Languish, and we're basically done. We're gonna go to combat, and I'll swing my 2/2 and my 3/2 at you, and we'll see what we got going on there.
All right. Well, this is a pretty easy block for me on the Loyalist because I want to try to maybe tutor up 𝐂𝐚𝐤 to clog up the board, and letting him keep that really turns off the extra blockers that does. So I'm okay taking the extra 1 damage, and I'll block the Loyalist.
Okay, sounds good. I'll get in for 3. Play a Mountain for turn, and I will pass.
All right, so I'm going to crack that Fable Passage, putting me up to that 4 Delirium.
Yep. Delirium achieved.
And then we're going to do an end of turn Otherworldly Gaze and kind of see what we can find here.
Sure.
So ship them all. Now making 3 Otherworldly Gazes in the graveyard.
There you go.
Plenty given the time, the ability to filter. Okay, so upkeep, I have the option, maybe digging a little bit further here. I think I'll just probably take a blind draw here. So I'll draw. Ended up getting paid off pretty well there.
Nice.
So I actually had the 𝐂𝐚𝐤, and
there we go.
Had the ability to maybe Otherworldly Gaze and find a 7th land, so I could, play the 𝐂𝐚𝐤 at the same turn. But it would have been a disaster, of course, if I had missed.
Right.
So we'll go ahead and do that. And the blind draw was a Deathrite Shaman. So just try to hold the fort here for 1 more turn, and maybe turn the tide. So I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, we're looking at, we got to end this game. Don't know how likely that is, but that's what we are going to try to achieve. So I'm going to draw. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tap 3 for a Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. Whoopee. Goblins are twice as big now, or well, plus +2/+2, so they pump each other. And I'm actually going to go and I'm going to pay 1. And I'm going to deal 1 damage to you. I'll go ahead and pass the turn.
All right. So again, we have the option of potentially otherworldly gazing. No cards in hand this turn. 6 mana is quite a lot to work with. So I'll go ahead and do this during the upkeep to try to set up a good draw here. Got an ooze off the top. And I don't really see any reason necessarily to take a risk. I'll go ahead and eat your loyalist with the ooze.
Sure.
Gain 1. And I can go ahead. I feel like I've got plenty of blockers, so I'll go ahead and eat one of your other guys to gain 2 more.
All right. Yeah, and we are out of the red zone.
All right, so I'll pass it back to you.
All right. I will untap. I will upkeep. And are you ready for a miracle? Drop a mountain. I'm going to pay 1 for a Fanatical Firebrand. I am going to go ahead and activate both my lords. I'm going to shoot down that Skooz before it gets even worse and just eats everything.
All right, and I think you need 1 extra damage, right? Because of the counter.
Oh, he's a 2/2. I forgot he's a 2/2.
You actually have that with your Firebrand doing the 3rd damage.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's going to be just fine because the Deathrite Shaman only gets you 2 per turn, where the Skooz is going to get you a lot more value. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll sack that Firebrand and say goodbye to that. Like you said, we're not out of it. We got these double activations, so there's a chance. But I am currently hellbent, no cards in hand, and I'll pass the turn.
Do the same trick as before. Let's get that otherworldly gaze going. 2 good ones here, so I'll pitch 1. And I will draw this one. So I'll go ahead and swing with the Cavalier. We've got the spiders back for blocking.
Yeah, I will declare no blocks and take 5.
All right, so then I'll pass it to you.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay 2. And I'll go ahead and play Battle Cry Goblin.
Pretty good one.
And it's not too bad. And I'm thinking, is this the time where I get rid of the Deathrite Shaman? Because I could pump my team, give them all haste. Swing, I would have an extra 1/1 coming at it, and currently you have 5 blockers, so I mean you can just block everything. Luckily these guys are 2/3, so they outclass the tokens, they outclass the Deathrite Shaman.
I think they're 3/4s because they're pumping each other, right?
Oh yeah, there'd be 3/4s. Yeah, that's probably what I want to try to go for, is to pay 2 and give my team the old pumperoonie, give everyone +1/+0. I mean, he comes down, he's a 4/4 already, so he's going to be a 5/4 on this swing. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and go to combat. And I know I'm for sure going to make a 1/1, which will be a 3/3. And I think that might just want to be my attacks right here. So yeah, we'll go ahead and swing like this.
All right, so you've got 2 5-powered guys.
Yep, and then a 3-powered.
4, I believe, right? Because they've 2 pumps in.
He doesn't get this pump. He only gets the +1/+1 from these fellas.
I see. In that case, I can block with 2 spiders on your bigger guys. If your person had 4 power, I would be a little bit more concerned, but I think I can put 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐿 in front of the 3-power creature.
Okay, so you're going to put that in front of the 3, and then you're going to chump these with that?
Yep.
Okay.
No trample or anything, right?
No trample. That will go ahead and go through, and I'll lose this goblin.
Okay. Down 2 spiders.
And these guys should live.
Yep.
And I'll go ahead and pay 1, and I'll use the hobgoblin now that I've had 2 creatures in her, and I'd shoot down the Deathrite Shaman.
All right, so this is the time to use the Deathrite one last time. I'll eat one of your creatures and gain 2.
Cool. And I'll pass the turn.
All right, so we'll go ahead and use our last otherworldly gaze on the end step. All right, we'll keep 1 on top and pitch a Witherbloom Command and Swamp. We'll go ahead and play an Elder Gargaroth and hope to just hang on 1 more turn. So I believe that leaves me 1 mana open.
That was not the friend we wanted to see.
Pass it to you.
Pay 1. And I'll go ahead and play a Foundry Street Denizen. Pay 2. And I'm going to go ahead and give all my goblins +1/+0. And haste.
And haste.
And I'm going to go ahead and go to combat. I'm going to swing these 3, which will make another 3/3.
All right. So
And yeah, so I'll
the,
have. Oh, go
the
ahead.
new goblin doesn't have the pump yet, right?
Does not. I could pump it again. It does have the pumps from the hobgoblin though.
We're having to block everything here, I believe. So I'll put 𝐂𝐚𝐤𝐿 in front of the bushwhacker. I'll put the Gargaroth in front of the Battlecry guy.
Okay.
I'll put the Cavalier in front of your Foundry Street Denizen, and I'll put the Spider in front of your Goblin.
Okay. And I'll pump.
Oh, so I get to do an effect.
Oh yeah,
here.
you do get to do your effect first. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and I'll just gain that 3 to be safe.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and pump with my battle cry, and that'll make the 6 power and this guy a 4 power.
All right, which would ordinarily be very bad for me, but I was actually hoping for that because speaking of hidden text, my Cavalier's got some hidden text as well.
Yes.
Which when he dies, I can get something from my graveyard, and I've been eyeing this, Languish on top here.
There you go. Well, that's unfortunate for me, so there you go.
I believe that all of our goblins die except your token, and then my spider will go away. And I'll go ahead and exile the Cavalier, put the Languish on top, and hope that that kind of pushes me over the edge.
Sure.
So I'll go ahead and cash the Languish.
Okay. Clear our board up.
And just hang out for a turn and pass it to you.
I'll untap, and I will get a Conspicuous Snoop off the top. I will not, but I got something that doesn't suck. It's a Chandra, TOD. And we'll go ahead and uptake her to 5. And we'll exile the top card. It is a Goblin Pile Driver. I only have 1 mana, so I will not cast it, and that'll be 2 to you.
All right.
And I'll pass from there.
I'll go ahead and play a Gifted Etherborn and then a Tamiyo.
Okay.
So Tamiyo is going to tick down and grab me something else. I think that the Gargaroth was working pretty well for me, so we'll put that in hand.
Okay.
And, continue to try to hold here. So I'll pass it back to you.
I'm going to Chandra up to 6. Let's see what we get off the top. It is a Goblin Ringleader. And we will cast him because we need to get some stuff on the board. And when he enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards in my library. Put all Goblin cards that way into my hand. So we got a 10th Street Dodger, a Mountain, a Skirt Prospector, and a Mountain. So I'll get the 10th Street Dodger and the Skirt Prospector into hand. I'm going to go ahead and play this 10th Street Dodger. And I got to remember what Tamiyo does. I will go ahead and I'm going to give this guy unblockable, except by creatures with Defender.
All right.
And let's go and
you had the 5 mana or 6 mana?
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, it's because I didn't play this land that I meant to play. And then now I'm going to make him unblockable.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm going to send the 1. I'm thinking if I even need to send it at Tamiyo.
Okay.
I'm just going to send it at you.
All right, go to 7. So I think we're going to plus Tamiyo and just try to, fish our wish here. I've got a Assassin's Trophies somewhere in the 60. So we'll go ahead and name that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I did hit it. Yeah, I was pretty fortunate in dumping an Otherworldly Gaze in the graveyard. Go ahead and Assassin's Trophy your Chandra. You get a basic land to play untapped. I'm going to gamble it is and grab a Massacre Girl.
Okay.
So,
let's pay 3 for a Goblin Bandit Lord.
All right. Very good.
And I will go to combat.
Yep.
And I'll swing for 3, 4, 5 at you. Oh, real quick. What's in your graveyard? Just because Tamiyo can get stuff back. It can get back that Languish, can it?
I do. Languish, yeah, I got Assassin's Trophy, Languish, 𝐂𝐚𝐤, Scavenging Ooze, lots of goodies. Liliana.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and pay the 1 and just make this guy unblockable.
All right.
And I'll swing for 2 at Tamiyo unblockable, and I'll swing 3 at you.
All right, so Tommy will take 1. I'm pretty happy to take this trade at this point. I'll block and gain the 2.
Okay. And I'll pass from there.
Kind of try to fish our wish again, so we'll name Languish. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a miss.
We take those.
Stocking up the graveyard. Play Drowned Catacombs. Play that Gargaroth and see if he's able to pull me through. So pass it to you.
I will pay 1 and make sure we don't have to worry about 𝐂𝐴𝐤 anymore. Swing 2 at 𝐂𝐴𝐤.
Sure, she's down.
And I will pay 1 for a Skirk Prospector. And then just to push through a little damage, I'll go ahead and I will ping you for 1.
All right, I'm at 8.
And I'll pass from there.
So we use our 4th and final gaze at the end step to try to find something good. 1, 2, 3, not any of those. So let's take a look here. So draw. Let's see. I'll go ahead and swing with the Gargaroth, and I think I'll make a 3/3.
Okay.
Sorry to get a little aggressive here. Also, we will play another Gifted Aetherborn and pass it to you.
I'll make my 10 Street Dodger unblockable, and I'll swing for 2 underground, but then I'll activate my Castle Embereth and we'll make it 3.
All right, go to 5.
And I'll play a land and I'll pass the turn.
All right, I think we just got to try to close this out here as much as possible. And I'm going to swing with everybody. Just possibly a little extra insurance here. I'll gain that 3.
Sure. I'll block the 3/3 with my 1/1.
All right. Well, 2/2, but yeah.
Oh, 2/2. Sorry. I didn't know it was a 2/2 beast. Oh, it is a 2/2. Sorry, my 2/2 with your.
Right.
Yeah. Let's do that, and then I'll take the rest. That's 6, 7, 8.
Yep. All right. So I think we can finally close the door here. We'll play another Gargaroth and pass it to you.
And that's going to be a Goblin Instigator is not going to do much. So, you know, not enough to do 8 right there. I think, what is it? That'll get me 2 damage, 3, 4 damage. So that is going to, I mean, with a Great Embereth maybe, or Castle Embereth 5. So we ain't there, but that was a good game. Real good close one right there. So
yeah, great games.
Had a lot of fun, Matt.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. The Goblin deck showed a lot more reach than I had thought. You know, you've got the Snoops and a little bit of pinging with the Hobgoblin. So,
sure.
You know, maybe it does have that little bit of extra damage you can do to push through, but you can basically see the play pattern here, right? It's try to rush me down on the aggro side, and then the mid-range, you try to do a sweeper and then, you know, crawl your way back from there.
For sure. No, I really love that, and I look forward to seeing it at F&M. Hopefully I'm playing not goblins, or my goblin draws are better. Another great day of testing out decks. What I loved about these is these aren't necessarily high meta decks. We got to kind of mess around with some home brews and see kind of what's going on and how far we could push certain archetypes in the format. It was a lot of fun playing with Matt. I'm sure we'll be seeing him again on the channel, considering he's a really fun brewer. But while you're here, please make sure that you hit a like on the video. Really goes to help the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content, and leave a comment telling me what you thought of the video. As always, I'm 𝐂𝐚𝐤𝐿 𝐉𝐚𝐤, reminding you, don't forget to play your land drops, and we'll see you next time.